All right, guys, welcome. It is January of 2022. Thanks for coming. You might get extra credit for coming this evening instead of this morning. I'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to cover things that I think are useful and helpful about the way I look at getting tasks done, productivity, avoiding procrastination, or procrastinating on the right things. I think we all procrastinate on something, and you need to choose what you're procrastinating on well. And so I think this will be potentially shorter. It was shorter than the average meeting, which has gone longer than I intended the average meeting to go, but I've enjoyed it. I hope I haven't talked too much every other time. So I also think this will be, and it was this morning, more open and a better topic for you to jump in and tell us something that's related that you do that's different, that could work better, or something that's completely different that has its merits too. But I wanted to share what I'm doing. I think I'm good at getting things done related to the business for the most part. It's something that I thought of to talk about because I'm thinking about how to do it better, especially with the new year, but I've been figuring out ways to do things better continually because I need to get better at it. I'm not great at it. I let things slide. Occasionally images go unretouched until the client messages weeks later and says, are you going to send me those images? And I'm like, yes, tomorrow. And I forgot, I'm sorry. So I've been thinking about ways to eliminate those, get more done with my days, use my days better, have more discipline in my days, have more time set aside where I'm not doing certain business things. So I'll be going over some of that. And I welcome you to jump in whenever you think there's a relevant question or you have something helpful to add. People added helpful things this morning, so I would appreciate that. First thing I'm doing that I'm covering is what I call grounding, in the sense of you have to know where you're at. So it all comes down ultimately first to my goals, 10x goals. I've covered that. Big picture goals that inspire you. For me, my biggest goal is to hit 1 million in sales this year. I think about that every day. Most hours, I would say it pops into my mind that that's where I'm going this year. It's been popping in my mind for the last like 4 months since I decided that this was going to be the $1 million year. And that kind of orients me towards action. I don't think that I'm going to get to 1 million if I'm coasting a third of the work days, which is Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturday for me. So it's big, like things have to go well this year, and I have to be effective and efficient in how I use my time. I have to be creative. Like it's really pushing me in that direction. I can't just do what I did last year. Unless groups come back, maybe then I could do what I did last year, but I'm not counting on groups just suddenly coming back. So I write my goals every day. I write things that are not just $1 million in a year. That's awesome. It's helpful to me. But I need big goals that are more attainable, more like the what we call them P tags, progress tracking attainable goals. More like I need to, if I'm going to make 1 million, I will be able to buy this or invest this much in this project, which will start my way towards getting passive income, which is at least this much per year through real estate or the stock market or whatever. I need those sorts of things. 1 second. So let me just take a split second. Someone needs the link to the call, and I just go over to Zoom. Where is that? There we go. Zoom. Invite and copy the link and go here. So I need those things. I need the big goals as a year-long goal for me, and I need the smaller goals as extra motivation because after all, 1 million is just a number. If my only goal was to hit 1 million, you know, it doesn't matter whether I hit 900 or 800, not really gonna have a major impact on what I can do, what I can't do. So I need other things to get me excited that are maybe shorter term, or just maybe something exciting like getting to go somewhere, getting to make a donation, big purchase, like I said, family experience, some upgrade to the way I live, being able to whatever, lots of different things you could do. You know, 3 weeks off. If I make 1 million, I'm going to take January and February off next year or something, you know, whatever excites you. And I vary those up day by day. I don't write the same smaller goals all the time. I mix them up and just try to keep multiple things fresh in my mind. That's very motivating for me to actually know that I have things to do and I need to get them done in order to get there. The next section I call knowing, and this is basically keeping track of everything you have to do. Personal things, business things, other types of things you need to do. I write them all out. And the premise is basically I cannot prioritize what I'm doing if I don't know everything that I have to do. I could pick 4 things that are great to do on, you know, tomorrow. And if I'm forgetting that I have this really, really important thing that's more important than the 4 things that has a deadline of Wednesday, I'm going to be prioritizing great things to do and missing out on really what I should be doing with my time. So I'm big on trying to write down every task you have to do. Then it comes down to efficiency. So I've more realized this lately is that every moment in my day is not created equal. Every moment is not as valuable as every other moment. And what I mean by that is there are certain things that can be done in business hours that can't be done outside of business hours, or, you know, maybe shouldn't be done out of business hours. I don't recommend calling company group headshot client at 11 p.m. to just check in and see if they got the proposal. You could try that. I don't think that'll be very helpful. There are things that are better done in the morning, and I specifically have in mind calling clients that you've already talked to, you've already tried to follow up at least the initial time they fill out the form. If you're doing opt-in pricing, you call them, you either leave a message or you talk to them. They're not ready to book. The next time you follow up, I think, should be in the morning. And this is based off of Chris Voss's advice, which he talks about decision fatigue. So once people get to the afternoon, they kind of have lost a lot of the capacity to make decisions. They don't want to decide anything else. They don't want to think through a complex decision or commit to something in the afternoon. So I've divided my time into early morning before business hours and evening after business hours, into morning and into afternoon. I've prioritized calling potential clients, getting caught up because I've fallen behind on this crucial part of my business is following up with people. I think it's a crucial part for all of us. And I've gotten behind on that, which is really a pretty big failure, really. I think that is probably the thing that is most important to actually earning money. And I have let it slip in the last 6 months. I've kind of caught up a bit and then fallen behind a bit, caught up a bit, fallen behind a little bit. But I know that I could have earned more money last year if I had just, every time I get a task reminder to follow up with someone, if I did it that day, So I've split up into early morning and evening. That's one, then morning, and then afternoon. Afternoon is mostly for things that I need to do during business hours. It's not usually calling clients. So, of course, I would prioritize calling a potential client if they fill out the form during that time or email me about headshots or call or whatever. That takes priority. But my outbound follow-up is in the morning. It involves things that I need to do during business hours, like, for example, calling to reschedule service for the dishwasher. That's a whole thing. It would take up too much time to tell you about the process of getting our dishwasher fixed. Going to get my driver's license for Virginia, which I finally did. Those are the kinds of things that I do in the afternoon. Right now, since I'm catching up on the calls to clients that I should have done before, I'm trying to spend some of the afternoon doing that too, just to get caught up. But eventually that will be relegated to the morning. Any questions on that so far? Comments? Does anyone else divide it like that? Have you thought about differing values or different uses for different parts of the day based on how effective it would be to do them during that time?
One of the things that I do is determine 5 critical tasks to consider the day a success. And those 3 to 5 tasks have to be, those are the things that I know I have to absolutely do. So I'll usually move those to the beginning of the day, the first half, to make sure that I'm focusing on them. And then any other secondary tasks I'm putting below that, because it's less critical if I don't get those done. So that's kind of the way I think about the prioritization of those things.
Yeah, that's cool. When I start a morning section, what I've started doing is starring a few that I really want to get done. That's helpful. I think if you're doing it with the idea of the value of a given period of time, like if you follow up with clients that need followed up with, and 2 other things can be done in the afternoon just as well, and you agree that the morning is the best time to call, as long as you're prioritizing that in the morning, I think that's a good addition to what I'm saying. It's valuable. And I basically do that, but I could probably do that more intentionally. Really committing to things. I think I tend to star probably more things than I should, and then kind of do what I feel like doing, unless there's a pressing reason to get one done first. So that's cool. All right. Now it comes down to choosing what to do. And basically, this is my, I think, tendency, but I also think it's not a bad strategy. I prioritize money-making activities. The things that I procrastinate on are, switching the address when we moved, getting a new driver's license, registering the cars in Virginia, cutting the grass. I just like, those are just time suck things. I don't get paid. Some of them I have to pay to have done. Or if it's like, you need to cut the grass, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to. Maybe that's just mental. That's just what I think. But yeah, I focus on the business more than personal things. I have appointments I should set up, dentist, blah, blah, blah. My teeth aren't bothering me, so I haven't set that up yet this time around. Stuff like that. So there are short-term business things and long-term business things. There are pressing things such as signing up for healthcare, getting an oil change, which I finally figured out how to fit into my schedule today. And then things that can wait, like cutting the grass, organizing the garage. These are not going to make you any money. A yard sale will cost you money because it takes way too much time to get 50 cents for an old mug. So don't do yard sales, just throw that away. So there's short-term and long-term money-making things, and that's why I'm prioritizing the mornings for calling clients. I think it's best done in the morning, but also it's just one of the most important things. You literally have someone who is interested in giving you money, and if you call them, you might get something secured that can be worth $1,000 or $2,000 in 10 minutes. So that outranks just about everything else. If you're at a funeral, maybe in church, sometimes in the bathroom, sometimes not. What else? You're at like your kid's graduation, you can put it off a little bit. But seriously consider answering the phone, calling people while you're in the bathroom if you think you can get away with it. Those are like, that's the primary short-term thing to me. Call people, book them, get the money. There are long-term things, and I would say there are, let's see, hold on, where did I cover this? Okay, I'm going to cover that later. I'm going to just list some things, and then I think it would be different for some people as opposed to other people. Some people, it's more of a long-term business strategy. Sometimes it is really actually critical for short-term business. Like what I'm really thinking of right now is like working on your website. If you're just started out and you don't have a website is very important to get a website. If you're, 3 months in and you're like, my website just doesn't, it looks like I just put something up and it doesn't look great. Like a website could be very important for converting people short term, because you send them there. So like a website can be a short-term business thing because you're sending people there and then they either decide they want to work with you or they don't. It can also be a long-term thing. So like if you're working on SEO, ranking higher so that people can actually find you, that will probably take a while. Very useful, but the SEO part is not going to get you more clients tomorrow. Making it look nice, making it functional so people can book online, for example, that will help you when you're doing whatever form of outreach you've decided to focus on. Networking in LinkedIn, just LinkedIn, Instagram, just kidding. Don't do Instagram. You're going to be sending people to the website. So it, depending on where you are, it's real like long-term for me. It's not the most important thing day to day to be working on my website, but for some of you who are newer, it will be more important. LinkedIn, I mentioned, networking, working on your messaging. By that, I mean actually studying how to message properly, thinking through what you're saying is the reason people would book with you, how you say it, how your website is laid out to convey that better, whether it's, you're going to be working with video, whether you're going to be text, whether you're going to sing, I don't know, how you're going to message your business. Creating graphics, creating videos, doing outreach, working on backlinks, that's real long term, but it's something that deserves some time at some points of your career to increase your SEO. TFP shoots and education. Education, I told the morning people that they probably shouldn't be on the morning call because they should be calling clients, not doing education. I told them we have a 9 p.m. so they could come off business hours and join us there. Be a better use of their time to call clients than to be on my call. And then I told them I was very happy that they were there, and I was mostly kidding, mostly. So depending on where you're at, you have to evaluate, whether you're working for short term or long term. This morning, are you going to try to get clients this morning, or are you going to try to build up so that in 6 months you're getting more clients? And I think people should start out their businesses thinking about short term. If it's like, I really need to make this full time, then you need clients today. And then as you get more established, you can start thinking about longer term projects. I really want to get a client that's 50 people and I want to hire a videographer to come in and film a behind the scenes video so that I can send it to more people so that more people will book me for group shots, etc. That's like, that requires time and money, and not being desperate for money right now, because it takes, a month or two to get a video, to get a shoot on the books and coordinate it and work on it and have it shot and do edits and stuff. And if you go cheap, you might not be happy with your video, like I wasn't. But it's a play for later in the game, I think. Let's see. Then the last thing I have for us that I wanted to cover is balancing. And this is kind of, I touched on this, but short term is the most important for all of us. If you have someone you can call and book them, that I don't know if I'll ever be at a point where that isn't like top priority. Yeah. There's long term that does not take long. So like LinkedIn is not short term. It's long term, and it's kind of medium term for the most part, I would say. But it doesn't take long to post, to go on for half an hour and comment on some people's posts that are posting good stuff in your area and try to be insightful, helpful, add to the conversation, connect to a couple people that you met this week or realize you're not connected to on LinkedIn. Doesn't take long. It's long term, but it should be a priority for a lot of you, I think. Even though it won't have immediate fruit, probably. There's also something that doesn't take long, that's a little bit more long-term than calling someone who's an individual who's probably maybe ready to book. Is an example is creating those group scheduling pages for a potential client, a group client, to show them what it would be like to work with you. That here's the link, highendheadshots.com/Apple. You can just send this to all 100,000 employees and they can sign up for their headshots. Here's what it looks like. That is, groups aren't going to be like, oh yes, we're ready, probably, from that, but it will give you an edge on other people who aren't being that proactive. And if you've done it once before, it takes 5 or 10 minutes to swap it out, make sure there's availability on your Acuity calendar, so it shows an available date. And that's something that's kind of shorter, medium term kind of thinking. Doesn't take long. There's long-term things that do take more time. I mentioned the website, education. I don't think you can listen to 5 minutes of education. It's going to just change your life. It takes time. Designing collateral, and that can take up some more time. My Canva project that I was hiring someone else to do still took me a couple hours, getting her the right images, doing revisions, giving her feedback on what I liked, what I didn't like. So even that, someone else was doing it. It took me some time. And long-term stuff that does not pay off is Instagram. Don't do that. Like, I get on, I post once a month or something. It's a bunch of photographers liking each other's work, in my experience. If you have other experiences, you can share them and tell us how you're doing it, because I don't get a lot of potential clients there. I think I booked one person from Instagram.
It rarely hits our target markets at our price point. It's not worth it.
Yep. I probably would post even less if I didn't have the coaching. I just want people to see my work who are photographers. So I don't spend long on there though.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Instagram, this is Alex. Instagram helps me book basically I booked about $40,000 worth of corporate jobs last year, but I've been a family and wedding photographer in this area for 25 years full time. So all of my family clients that own huge companies, when they find out that I shoot headshots, they hire me.
Okay.
So that's how it works for me.
If you've built a network there, of non-photographers like Alex has, then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just ditch an audience that I've been building for years that are full of clients. That's a different situation. Awesome.
I agree with that. My primary is actually commercial. So a lot of ad buyers, creative buyers, things like it for ad agencies are on Instagram more than LinkedIn.
Okay.
So they see that side of my work. I don't post my headshots to Instagram. I actually
Okay.
have a separate account just for headshots.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what you guys are telling me is if you don't have a, well, yeah, sounds like for most of us, creating a headshots account and posting headshots is a waste of time, according to the experience of the people in the room. It's different for Alex because she was networking there and creating a network for herself, which is awesome. Okay, cool. Questions, comments, ways you do things. You think it's stupid to divide days? You do something else. You on notepads, you have great apps for the iPad or something. Was there one thing in particular that will help you think, from this? Okay, I tried.
No, I like the idea of being a little bit more thoughtful about the time of day and how you're using that. Sometimes I have really wondered how to adapt that for myself, because I am not up as early as some folks with like small kids. I'm not a morning person, and I never have been. And I've at times considered listening to somebody that says, oh, but you can become a morning person, and tried to gradually, yeah, that just never seems to work. So, I sometimes get that second wind, and what for other people is just late. And so I get a second wind and kind of catch up on some stuff. But I
We
think
have
being
a baby
thoughtful
monitor. We have a baby monitor if you want the username and password.
I did put in the work in a certain chapter of my life as an aunt and auntie. I actually moved in with my sister for a while when the kids were really little. So I have had some experience in that chapter of life. I just didn't do it myself.
You've been awake in the morning in the past.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. He's 18 now though, so we don't want to revisit that.
I think, I mean, yeah. For me, like, when do you wake up? When are you ready to go?
8 is the earliest,
Yeah, I
sometimes
mean,
9.
You don't need 3 hours of calling clients. Like if you did like 10:30 to 11:30 every day that you're not shooting or have something else pressing, that's getting your follow-up done in the morning.
Yeah. It's just a matter of going to the discipline part of the conversation and the consistency part of the conversation of planning it, strategizing it. And then, some days when I'm not shooting or when I don't have an appointment or whatever, literally getting up and doing it.
Yeah. There's procrastination by just lying around and not doing things that need to be done. And there's procrastination by doing things that you prefer to do when you can do the thing that you need to do. And then you're like, well, it's 6 o'clock. I can't call them now. So I think that's what I tend to do that more than just hang around and not do anything. I tend to do stuff that's the stupid thing to do for that time. And then, yeah, it's easy to be like, okay, well, it's dark outside. We had dinner, gonna watch TV with the wife and just, I don't know, watch YouTube videos. When I could have been doing, I want to spend time with my wife, but the YouTube videos I wouldn't really miss them if I didn't do it. But I could be doing the calls during the day and then doing whatever I was doing during the day in the evening, some evenings. So.
I'm gonna pipe in. I
Yeah,
guess.
please.
All right. Well, I think this year I'm gonna change a little bit around. I haven't been a goal setter, or I don't believe in resolution, but I'm gonna set some goals for the year for my business, and we'll see how that goes. I have a list. pretty
Yeah.
long.
Good.
So when I'm gonna do some activities involving the business, I'm gonna focus on, is this serving me and my goal? If not, then I'm just not gonna do it. Or if someone calls me and asks me for a project that is not what I would do when I spend too much time thinking about it, planning how much it would cost me to do some stupid stuff that they've been calling about, I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry, I don't do it.
Yeah. Got to be
So-
focused if you're going to do big things.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Should we do wins? I'm excited for wins. I love wins with you guys. I'm going to go first. I bought my parents the Mercedes. You guys probably saw that, but it's pretty tricked out, and that's the win for the last month for me. Pretty cool. Can't wait for it to come. Tom.
So last month for me was very family focused, focusing on the holidays and everything. So not a whole lot of financial. Personal wins were getting a few camera shy family members in front of the camera and
Very cool.
getting some, some good shots of them. So that's a win for me.
Very cool. Austin. Austin.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear.
That's all right.
So my win came today. Actually, I live down the street from a small corporate office of mechanical engineers, and I've been emailing them for the past several weeks to try to get headshots scheduled. And the guy's just been kind of dragging his feet. So I decided to do an assumptive sell, and I just invoiced him the amount of the deposit today and said, hey, I have to get you on my calendar right now in order to get this done for you. So give me the deposit and I'll send you a calendar invite for the time. And like an hour later, Square notified me that he paid the deposits. And he's like, oh, sorry, I've been super busy, but like invoicing him was the way I was able to get stuff done. And that kind of felt like a little bit of a John Meadows move. And
That's,
it
no,
worked.
no, that's like Jedi stuff.
Yeah. So that was my win.
Bold, very
Yeah.
bold.
I've never heard of that before. All right, Dan. Who did you assumptive close today?
I didn't close any, but I did make some sales calls today and got a couple of very interested parties. The learning moment for me was never assume that you're going to be too expensive for somebody. Get on the phone with a positive attitude and just really, work your magic, communicating your value. And you never know who's going to either say yes or be like, I really am interested. Things like that. So that was going on this morning. My
Who
wins
was it
today,
that who was it that you would have been tempted to say, I'm going to be?
they were both realtors.
Yeah.
And I've not had a lot of success getting realtors in at my pricing.
Yeah.
I've gotten a few in, but most realtors have said, oh no, it's way too expensive. But these two, and this was at my new pricing that I was telling them, and they were both very interested. So it's like,
What's your new pricing? What's your new pricing?
my new pricing is 245, 250.
I knew that. I was just letting
And
you tell everyone.
yeah, so and a win for me was booking my first client at that pricing the other day. So I was excited about that. And then kind of a bigger picture win was the last 6 months was $70,000. Well, $72,000 approximately the last 6 months. So super excited for what's in store for this year.
You sound as excited as I sound when I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm like, I'm very excited.
excited.
Like, are you? I'm like, oh yes. Super excited. Yeah. This is the voice. All right, Nina. Awesome. Awesome, Dan. Thanks.
So I had an extremely busy December, right up until the 25th. Actually, Christmas Eve, I had a client text me at 5 o'clock, which blew my mind. But so surviving that honestly was a big win, because just volume wise, it was just enormous, and it was just a ton of work, and I was grateful for it. But at the same time, it clarified, I think, some I'll just say possibilities for getting a better situation in place going into the new year. But to that end, I did get a new laptop, and I got a new iPad mini for transactions. So to just kind of up level the gear to support kind of the new volume and kind of where things look like they're going. So I've just sort of held out, trying to be really frugal with old technology for a long time, and getting something new and how smoothly it works is like, the heavens opened. It was like, this is how fast the laptop is supposed to be working.
Yeah.
So those were wins, just kind of feeling like I had the wiggle room to upgrade those things.
Awesome. Gail.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the east coast of New Brunswick eating some really good food. So I did some photography with the family. Actually, when I went in September, I did a large wall art for my nephew, and my sister says she wants a picture of all her family. So I took the pictures, and now we're going to work on the print. Nothing really in the plan this month. I'm really busy doing some forensic photography course for work. And beside that, yeah, I just applied for a job at the college for a photography teacher. So we'll see.
Have you thought about putting out on LinkedIn or something that I want to shoot you dead or alive?
Since some of my bosses from work are there, I don't know if I want to do that with what's going on with police and civilian. I don't know.
Ask them,
I
how would you
don't
like to
really
be
promote-
photographed? Would you like to be
I don't really
photographed dead or
promote my
alive?
first, what?
Just ask them how would you like to be photographed, dead or alive? If you'd like to be photographed alive, you can book at this.
That's actually the case in real life. Actually, probably more dead than alive people I'm doing right now, but you know.
Gotta work on that. Get it to 50.
Yeah, I have to work on that, since shooting beautiful people heals my soul right now. There's not much healing. I'm just trying to survive.
I know it's tough.
So it's all right. More restrictions.
Christopher.
Nothing in the realm of booking shoots this week, but I take it slow the first couple weeks of the year. But I got my Synology in finally, and have migrated everything to a single silo now. So life is good there, and I don't have the stack of externals anymore. I wanna call that my big win.
Congratulations on getting that set up. Mine is set up, but it's just so confusing to me. It takes me forever to sign in and look at what I have on there. So I need to figure that out. Kevin.
Well, I've had some pretty decent results, not great, but I got my first customer here over the weekend. The guy found me on my website. It was organic SEO kind of thing. He lives in my general neighborhood, so I think he just typed in headshots near me and found me, and needed one very quickly. So he came over the next day. I did the session and sold him 3 images, and he tipped me $105. So, you know, it was like every time I pull out my Square, you know, the thing, I think to myself, yeah, I'm paying 3% on this, you know, crummy credit card thing, and then the guy tips me $105, and it was like, yeah, you know. So a good deal there. Another great tip from John Meadows.
I didn't tip you. I just told you the tip.
Yeah, right. And then I have another a session here on Thursday. And this was one that I got through LinkedIn, and I've just been pursuing these types of things. So it's you know, it's not as easy for me since I'm working full time, But, it's satisfying when I can land the guy probably wouldn't have booked with me if I hadn't called him several times. So,
Good,
it's persistence pays off.
good follow-up. Cool. Charlie,
For me, it's been more of the long-term stuff. So, I mean, my SEO, I hired someone to work on it actually the end of the summer. And it was okay, but it wasn't good enough. So I fired them. And just today, I started working with a new SEO company. And they're on it. And I'm really happy with them. So that's good. And then, incorporating some of the suggestions I've got out of here, like the LinkedIn mining, how to do that, that's paying off, which is good. So, and my new studio is finally all put together and up and running, and I'm getting people in, so it's good.
very good, very good. Refining that, were you in your home before?
Yeah, I was in my home, and right now I'm pretty much exactly where I had hoped I would be. Basically 3 minutes from downtown Seattle, right next to a major landmark, so everybody knows where it is. And it's got free garage parking, and so it's a good spot. I'm really happy with it.
Are you finding that you're selling more images in the studio?
I've had 5 clients in there since, and no, my average has actually been about the same.
All right, cool. Let's see, Daniela.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Hi. Happy New Year.
My biggest win for this year is actually, well, for this beginning of the year is that I became a grandma.
Ah,
So I'm at my son's house right now and just enjoying the baby. So business has been kind of in the back of my mind, but I'm still working on a few things. I've seen that I think it's the SEOs that I've been working on that are generating a bit more returns. I've had people contacting me out of the blue, and I'm like, oh, okay. Plus, I've been working on my Pinterest. I did an SEO audit with this girl, Tina, and she did talk about Pinterest, how big it is. So I've been working a lot on my Pinterest, kind of cleaning it, removing all my personal stuff, and just making them, personal boards. And she said, just put everything out there. It's a big search engine. So I've been working on that, working on my website SEO, and just working in the back end of everything and getting ready for when I return to New York to start working. One thing that happened, I have the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, the director called me. They're having a party for their 17-year-old girl and they want me to shoot it. So I'm like, okay, why not? So that's about it.
okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kyle.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year.
New Year.
Yeah. Yeah, the last 3 months was pretty good. More bookings and then more people buying the collections. Plus, the end of year, there's more family photo shoot, and then studio is kind of like crazy. Like the people come in family, bring their dogs, Yeah, so it's great. The pricing, everything, I basically just follow John's pricing on the collection. I think selling the collections is really the way to go. It's a way easier than finding more clients if they come here by collections. Yeah, and then currently working on my email templates. I purchased the email template from the High Shot Crew.
Yep.
I just want to customize it, so I hire somebody to just add some more stuff to it. And then I didn't use the whole, I think they got 20 something emails, even more. I think I used a 7 or 8 of them. I
Yep.
probably add a couple more. I just want to kind of I still now probably every 4 or 5 people I make phone call with, and there are 1 or sometimes good or 2 people booked. I want to make that number better. So I think probably what I can do is on the email part. So kind of use that way to build my authority, or get the customer more engaged or build that trust, especially this is very difficult when people just found me on Google, they never heard of me. So usually it take a lot more work
Mhm.
to get them booked. I try your way, like try to book them on the phone. Yeah, like I think I get 3 extra bookings doing that way. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. Like now every time before I call them, I always get the Square open up, ready to key in it.
So
Credit card.
I'll touch on something Dwayne told me about, which is now I've changed from that and I just book on my website. I think you pay like 0.5% less in the transaction fees. And then I
Yeah.
don't have to also go and schedule them on the back end after the call and enter their information, create the appointment on Acuity.
Oh, okay.
And also, when I'm going through my own website, I have terms there, which I forget to share with people when I'm using the Square app, because I'm like, okay, what's your credit card number, blah, blah, blah. And then that's that. So like when I've been doing the Acuity now, recently, I cover the terms. I'm like, okay, so you get 1 free reschedule. After that, it's $150 for a reschedule. Is that cool? Yeah. You can use it professionally, personally, whatever, website, LinkedIn, blog, business cards, brochures, blah, blah, blah. But you, like, if you have a book or you're selling t-shirts with it on it, if you're selling something or you have an ad campaign that's on billboards or whatever, that's commercial use, that's not covered. Is that cool? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then I enter their information, and then when I hang up, I don't have to go create the event in Acuity. So that's the way I've been doing it now.
I just like put on my Google Calendar, and then I think the Google Calendar was linked with the scheduling system, so they will know they're not gonna schedule the same time if someone
Right.
else. Yeah.
Right, but when I do it on Acuity, or when I actually book them the way I do it now, they get the calendar invite.
Okay, I see.
So they get the calendar invitation in an email with the preparation guidelines. It starts the email process to them, a confirmation email, an email the day before. And they get,
So this all automatically happen, like that's.
yeah, through Acuity.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe I use Acuity too. My website is Squarespace.
Yeah,
So I think they work together. The Squarespace and Qt, they kind of like
they're,
just
yeah,
put a package together. So I'll do some research. Thank you for sharing the tip.
it's just under like clients email settings or whatever, and you can set something to go out automatically when they book the day before an appointment, 5 days after an appointment, to ask for a Google review or something. It has a bit of that functionality. So
It is called the client's appointment setting, something like that.
there's
Clients
it says email on the left side, and you can click on that and customize emails to them based on when they book and when they're appointed.
Okay.
Alex,
That's nice.
Did you
Martha.
say Alex?
Oh, yes, Alex.
Hey, sorry, I'm in my
Hi there.
car, and my dog's in here panting. That's not me. So I had the best fourth quarter ever last year. I got my CRM up, which was really incredible. And then just yesterday, I booked for 2022. I booked my first corporate job for 2022, and that's really exciting. And it's a high-end real estate person in this area. I shot her family in October, and when I gave her the proposal, she tried to, she's like, oh wow, I didn't know I was going to have to pay per picture and stuff like that. But I didn't come down in price. What I did is I just cut out the studio portion. I'm still doing the outdoor lifestyle portion, but I'm actually going to make even more than I would have if I had had the studio portion.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun.
So you're giving them less and you're getting more dollars.
Yeah.
How does that work? It seems like bad pricing if less work is more money.
Right. Well, because I was going to have them come, because it's 4 people, I was, when when I do one-off headshots, I shoot them in my home-based studio, but when I have more than one, I rent John Glover's studio because he's right up the road from me. And so I don't have the studio expense running from John. I'm not bringing my assistant. And so that cut out about $450.
Why do you need a different studio if you have 4 people?
Because I work out of, I don't really want 4 people coming into my home for, just because I don't think I'm supposed to be running a business out of my home. It's not a
Okay.
home, it's an apartment.
Yeah.
And I don't want, there's a resident manager that lives on site.
Okay.
So I know I can fly under the radar when I have one-offs come in, but if I have 4 people, they're gonna have to kind of mill about outside. And I really don't want her saying, Alex, are you running a business out of your place?
Yeah.
So
Okay. All
that's
right.
why I rent John's studio.
Okay. All right. Didn't see that one coming. All right. All right, Martha. Good job, Alex.
Hi, I had a really good December, and I had my first kind of creative marketing idea that actually was successful. A lot of my clients are my peers age-wise, meaning we've got kids in college and grad school and young adults. And I did a social media post in the middle of December saying, hey, if your kids are coming home for the holidays, you want to give them a headshot? They could use a headshot. And then I sort of at the last minute said, you know, I don't do what you do, John, with 2 people coming together, you charge them separate session fees. I don't do that. I do an add-on session fee for an extra person. And I said, by the way, if you want to update your headshot too, I'll waive the the add-on fee for the extra person. So I only had a couple people book because I only had room in my schedule, but each one of them spent over $1,000 on headshots.
Cool.
So I considered that a big win for me. Anyway, the quarter was great. I'm not feeling super winny at the moment. I'm going to the headshot intensive next couple of days. So far, in terms of actual bookings, this January is slower than normal.
Okay.
But it is what it is, and I've been busy anyway. So
Okay. Good. Ernie, what are you doing?
Hey everyone,
You getting ready to go fishing or something? That's what it looks like.
electronics,
Oh, electronics, okay.
it's my stuff. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really shot much this past month. I sort of undid my home studio because I'm moving to a bigger space.
Okay.
You might think it's really stupid for me to take on that big of a step, but I just had to take the opportunity of turning a house into several different spaces, and we're already doing castings in the garden. And so I took the living room and remade it. I put up curtains, so it's going to be sort of a medium-sized studio with space for recording video podcasts or whatever. So I'm excited about that. And I redesigned my lights because as some of you know, I didn't buy a flex kit. I made it myself. So I made them larger, sturdier, and now I have a kit I have yet to finish all this bits and pieces, but I'm gonna be able to travel with it and do corporate stuff hopefully this year.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Jennifer. Back to
Hello.
you.
Let's see, what's my win? I had my first session and completed it at my new rates, which are $249, because you know the $4 make all the difference, right? And $250. And something that I actually added to my service is I'm working with a stylist who goes to their home to consult with their clothing before they come.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went with her so I could kind of see the client journey part, like what was the experience like for her?
Yeah.
And so I send a guide about clothes and stuff. And so when we arrived, she had everything out and it looked really good. But this client was a very anxious type. And just the act of talking to her and telling her that her clothes selection was great and visiting a little bit really put her at ease. And so on the day she showed up for her session, it just was smooth sailing. It was just really great. And she was very pleased. So
Yeah.
that made me happy. But what I'm doing is I'm trying not to shoot right now because I'm expanding my services to include more branding. And so I've completed my content marketing certification. So I have a better understanding of what kind of questions to ask my clients, because once they understand what photos can really do for their business, I find that they get really excited and they really get on board with planning the shot list and the session. And by the time the session is done, it's very hard for them to stay within their budget.
Good. So you basically took the course because you need to know what a good business owner would use photos to do.
Yeah, because the customer journey where your marketing needs to address the pain point, and then that pulls them in, and then you educate them and generate trust, and then present your, clinchers like testimonials and awards, blah, blah, whatever. And then the opportunity to purchase or to book a session. And so once, you understand that for yourself and your own client journey, then you're able to do that for your own clients. So talk with them on the phone. I get a lot of bookings through my website and I never even talked to them before they showed up. But now I talk to them well in advance of their session and really build out what their business is like. How much do they even know about their business? Do they even do the right kinds of marketing? Is that the reason that their income isn't what they want it to be? So it's almost like turning into an advisor type of role for them. And then the service I offer them is photography. But once they get the photos, they know what to do with them. They know what to do on social media with them because we've planned out a couple of different stories for their avatars.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was a huge learning curve for me. And now I'm in the middle of rebranding everything and doing a new website.
So you said you're not trying to shoot though.
Yeah, because it's slowing me down launching my new stuff.
Okay. Cool. Linda.
May I ask where you took the class for the content marketing certification?
Yes, it's HubSpot, actually. I was really surprised by the depth they go into and the resources they supply you with when you're taking all of the modules through the class.
Was it a paid course?
Nope. Free.
Free. Okay.
It's a magic word.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'll check it out. Linda.
Hey, no shoots so far this month. Seem to have trouble getting the ball rolling, but for a win, I decided to have Richard Wayne redo my website so that it's more of a funnel, that it's more effective. And instead of having all of my different genres on one thing to, break it all down into landing pages and things like that. So I'm looking forward to getting that done. And so what I've been doing with my time is, gathering all my assets and everything to, my text and my images and, all the things to allow him to start working on it.
Very cool. It's good. That's a good step.
So doing something, I feel like I'm, at least moving.
Yeah, it's a fundamental thing, the website. So that's good. Richard will do a good job, I'm sure. Awesome. Jared.
Yeah.
Hey.
I've had a bunch of good stuff happen. I've had like 4 shoots already this month. So started off with the first shoot having a 6 image collection sale. So that was great. Great way to start off the year. And then I think folks saw my posts where I showed how much money I made last year, which was great. So that was a big win. And then I also put in an offer for a house, which has been accepted, kind of thing. So we're kind of doing that whole process and trying to close on the house
Where's
later
that?
this month. It's in Falls Church.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So not very far from where I'm at now. So still close to the studio and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Good. Cindy. Looking for the
Hi.
win from the last month or so.
I finally got my car.
Got a
We
car?
ordered it in September.
Okay.
Somebody ran into the back of me.
Oh,
So
wow.
I didn't have a car for 4 months. So the car
Wow.
came in this week. Yay.
Wow.
I finally have a car. That's it. That's a good win.
That's a good
December
one.
was an awesome win month. It's probably my best income month I had last year. And this year I have 3 signed contracts and 4 in-studio photo shoots and another 10 on the book. So we're doing okay.
Doing good.
Mhm.
Awesome. Glad to have you here.
Thanks.
All right. We got our wins out of our system. Now we need to go get more wins. Go win so that you'll have something to say next month. Just kidding. Okay.
Oh,
Anything,
was on mute.
any last things? That's all right. I appreciated someone laughing. I assume you all laughed. You're just on mute and doing so without moving your mouths.
True, that's it.
Yeah. You guys are so talented with your ventriloquist ways, visually not laughing. Okay, cool. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.
First
Thanks,
of the
Thanks,
month.
John.
John,
First of the month
Take
next
care.
month. First Monday of the month next month. See you.
take care.